My goodness, folks. The royal scandal that's been brewing for years has finally exploded into the mainstream, and I am absolutely stunned by what's being revealed. Tom Bower, the legendary 85-year-old royal biographer known as the Witchfinder General of unauthorized biographies, has just dropped the most devastating expose on Meghan Markle we've ever seen, and he's holding nothing back. Now, I know you guys are excited for more. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, this isn't just another royal tell-all, my friends. Bauer has put the spotlight directly on what he calls the most scandalous chapter of Meghan's past, her alleged yacht girl lifestyle that she's desperately tried to bury since marrying into the royal family. For those who don't know, being a yacht girl isn't about having a passion for sailing. It's a euphemism for women who are invited onto luxury yachts owned by wealthy businessmen and celebrities for, well, let's just say, entertainment purposes. These aren't innocent dinner parties. These are notorious playgrounds for the rich and powerful, where boundaries get blurred and reputations get made or destroyed. And according to Bauer's explosive revelations, Meghan's carefully crafted fairy tale narrative is absolutely riddled with lies, contradictions, and cover-ups designed to hide this chapter of her life. As Bauer so bluntly put it, her lies could flood the earth. Can you believe the audacity? What makes Bauer's claims so credible is his impeccable track record. This isn't some random YouTuber throwing out wild theories. This is the man who's taken down politicians, business tycoons, and even wrote a scathing biography of Prince Charles that rocked the monarchy. When Tom Bower speaks, the powerful tremble. The most devastating aspect of these revelations is how they completely shatter Meghan's carefully constructed image as a self-made actress who worked her way up through talent and determination. According to Bower, her career trajectory looks less like a steady climb built on talent and more like calculated networking through powerful men. The yacht rumors persist, he suggests, because they fit a pattern that those in Hollywood have known about for years. This explains so much about why certain doors mysteriously open for Meghan despite her mediocre acting abilities. It wasn't her stellar performances that got her opportunities. It was who she knew and how she knew them. The whole independent feminist narrative she's pushed since day one suddenly looks like a complete fabrication. But the yacht scandal is just the beginning. Bower goes on to expose Meghan's obsession with Princess Diana, claiming she's not mourning a mother-in-law she never met, but attempting to copy a brand. We've all seen the outfits, the poses, the staged paparazzi moments designed to evoke Diana's persecuted princess image. But Bower delivers the brutal truth. You can't be Diana. And he's absolutely right. Diana was beloved for her authenticity and genuine compassion. Meghan, however, is increasingly seen as contrived, manipulative, and opportunistic. What was meant to be a tribute has become a poor imitation, and the public isn't buying it anymore. Perhaps the most heartbreaking revelation from Bower concerns Harry and Meghan's marriage itself. Behind the glossy Netflix documentaries and carefully staged photo ops, Bower suggests their relationship is deeply fractured. According to insiders he cites, Meghan uses her daughter Lilibet as a shield for sympathy, pushing motherhood narratives into the spotlight to distract from the cracks in her marriage. Instead of working on their relationship, they're using their children as props in an ongoing PR war. This isn't a love story, it's a business partnership, desperately clinging to relevance. Poor Harry has been completely bamboozled by a master manipulator who saw him as her ticket to global fame. The timing of these revelations couldn't be worse for Meghan, just as she's trying to establish her American Riviera Orchard brand and position herself as some kind of Martha Stewart meets Gwyneth Paltrow lifestyle guru. Bower drops this bombshell that connects her to a lifestyle that's the complete opposite of the wholesome, family-oriented image she's trying to sell. What's particularly fascinating about Bower's revelations is how meticulously he's documented everything. This isn't a hatchet job based on rumors, it's a carefully researched expose with sources, dates, and details that paint a damning picture of a woman who will say or do anything to climb the social ladder. When Meghan first left the UK, she imagined Hollywood would embrace her as royalty. For a brief moment, they did, but Bauer reveals that the shine has completely worn off. Producers whisper about her being difficult. Celebrities avoid being linked to her in public. Invitations to A-list events have dried up. She isn't seen as Hollywood royalty. She's seen as a liability. And the yacht girl whispers only make it worse. These rumors, with their links to the wealthy and powerful, remind everyone that Meghan's image wasn't built on talent, but on connections and scandal. Far from being aspirational, she's become toxic to those who once welcomed her into their circles. Bauer also highlights Meghan's relentless need to control every narrative, from her Oprah interview, where she demanded final editing power, to her Netflix series crafted to script her as Diana 2.0. But the tighter she tries to control the story, the less believable it becomes. Audiences aren't stupid. They can smell spin from a mile away, and Meghan's life now reeks of overproduction. The most tragic part of all this is how Meghan's endless contradictions have finally caught up with her. The Oprah interview, the claims about Archie's title, the New York car chase, the lawsuits. Every time the details unravel, her credibility takes another hit. And once credibility is gone, it's almost impossible to recover. Meghan is now in that dangerous zone where people don't just doubt her words, they assume she's lying by default. Her brand is collapsing before our eyes. Her Spotify deal was terminated. Netflix is reportedly cooling on the Sussexes. Hollywood elites distance themselves, and even the royals no longer acknowledge her. What's truly astounding is how quickly the fall from grace has happened. Just a few years ago, Meghan was celebrated as a breath of fresh air for the monarchy, a modern, independent woman bringing the royal family into the 21st century. Now she's viewed with skepticism and even outright mockery by many who once championed her cause. The royal family, meanwhile, has maintained a dignified silence in the face of these revelations. They don't need to comment. Tom Bauer is doing the dirty work for them. And what dirty work it is. Page after page of damning evidence painting Meghan as a calculating social climber who saw Harry not as a life partner, but as a stepping stone to global fame and fortune. Let's talk about Harry for a moment, because he's perhaps the true victim in all this. According to Bauer, Harry has been completely hoodwinked by a master manipulator who studied Diana's playbook and used it to ensnare a vulnerable prince still traumatized by his mother's death. The parallels Bauer draws between Diana's genuine struggles and Meghan's manufactured victimhood are absolutely chilling. Harry, who once enjoyed universal adoration as the cheeky, charming prince, has now become a shell of his former self. Isolated from family and friends, dependent on a wife whose own star is rapidly fading, stuck in a foreign country where his royal status carries less and less weight with each passing day. Sources close to the palace suggest that King Charles and Prince William have completely given up on reconciliation. How could they possibly welcome Meghan back into the fold after these revelations? And without Meghan, there's no Harry. He's made it abundantly clear that his loyalty lies with his wife, no matter how much evidence piles up suggesting that loyalty may be misplaced. What's particularly painful about all this is how easily it could have been avoided. If Meghan had been honest from the beginning about her past, owned her mistakes, and shown genuine humility, the public might have forgiven her. Instead, she doubled down on the fantasy, presenting herself as a persecuted innocent when the reality, according to Bauer, was anything but. The yacht girl allegations are especially damaging because they strike at the heart of Meghan's carefully constructed feminist credentials. How can she position herself as a champion for women's empowerment when her own rise allegedly involved these kinds of connections? The hypocrisy is staggering, and it's not just Bauer making these claims. His book has apparently unleashed a flood of additional testimonies from former friends, colleagues, and associates who were previously afraid to speak out, but now feel emboldened to share their own experiences with the Duchess of Sussex. The dam has broken, and the flood of revelations shows no sign of stopping. Once she had the world at her feet, now she has a crumbling empire, a damaged marriage, and a reputation built on scandal, not substance. The woman who wanted to be the new Diana and the star of Hollywood is instead seen as manipulative, dishonest, and increasingly irrelevant. For Meghan, Tom Bower's words aren't just criticism, they're a death sentence for her brand. Because when a man who has spent decades exposing powerful figures says her lies could flood the earth, the world doesn't just listen, the world believes it. The question now is whether Meghan's empire is finished for good. Has Tom Bower finally delivered the blow that ends her carefully scripted narrative? Or does she still have one last card to play? One more reinvention to keep herself relevant, even if it's through scandal. This debate isn't just about Meghan Markle. It's about whether lies, contradictions, and PR spin can ever outlast truth. And if you think Meghan's days of fooling the public are over, you're not alone. The truth always rises, no matter how hard certain former royals try to bury it. And mark my words, this isn't the end of the Sussex saga. If Tom Bower is exposing Meghan today, just wait until tomorrow. The floodgates have opened, and there's no stopping the tide of truth that's about to wash away the House of Sussex. What we're witnessing isn't just the fall of a duchess, it's the collapse of an entire carefully constructed mythology that millions once believed in. The fairy tale has been exposed as fiction, the princess revealed as an impostor, and the prince shown to be a pawn rather than a knight in shining armor. Tom Bower hasn't just written a book, he's delivered the final verdict on one of the most controversial chapters in royal history. And that verdict is devastating. Meghan Markle, the self-proclaimed victim, may have been the villain all along. Ta-ta, and bye for now.